Let's go to the Pat McAfee show. So Jarvis Landry, reports over the weekend have come out he's likely moving on. Here's Darius Butler on his thoughts on Jarvis Landry, the player.
Just like we talked about receivers, you draft them, you want to get young. Just like receivers, DBs, that's a position you always want to get cheaper. You want to get younger, especially if you get a guy that can come in and play in the system. Jarvis Landry probably has a price that he wants, going into these teams, and they're probably far apart right now. Especially last year, he played a lot of last year injured, and a lot of these people, they don't really care. That's the film you put out. This is your price that we're going to put on you, and if you're coming in the building, those things don't match up. Jarvis probably going to wait it out. I'm sure he signs with somebody, maybe close to training camp, maybe after, maybe an injury on another team happens. But I would love to have Jarvis Landry in my receiver meeting room. I would love to have him on my team. He is a dog. He plays hard. He brings it, and he's a difference maker when it comes to moving those chains. He has been since coming into the league, and I think he'll continue to be so. So whoever does land him, I think will be lucky.
And Mac, when you talk about Jarvis Landry, he probably doesn't fit pay-wise with what the Browns want to do, with what's left for the Browns to do.
Yeah, and Dave, you always kind of look at it from an on-field standpoint. I think that, Jarvis Landry and what he does well, I think that they kind of have that a little bit taken care of between, David Bell obviously being somebody. It's not going to be, apples to apples when it comes to David Bell to Jarvis Landry. But what does David Bell do? His 40 time might not be, the fastest, but it was faster than Jarvis's coming out of LSU. And on top of that, he's able to separate and accelerate better at the start of his routes when it comes to David Bell compared to Jarvis Landry. So I think that you're going to be able to see that separation come into play and become a factor for David Bell there as well. And, I think that he's right when it comes to the off the field standpoint. And I think that that's something that, I would absolutely love to have here in Cleveland. I love Jarvis Landry. I'd love to have him here. But at the end of the day, I think that what we're looking at when it comes to Jarvis Landry is just the fact that I think it's just time for these two to kind of separate and move on. And, I would love to have him here in Cleveland teaching those younger players. But I also think that for Jarvis Landry in an offense where, like I mentioned, David Bell is maybe your fifth or sixth option, I don't know if Jarvis Landry should be taking away touches from a David Njoku or from a Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt in the offense, or obviously not Amari Cooper. So, it's kind of figuring out what role is he going to have, and is he okay with and comfortable with taking on that role. And I just don't think that he's comfortable with that at this point in time.
Yeah, and I certainly hope he lands somewhere where he can get some touches and show what he can do. Was a guy that Cleveland liked, and rightly so.